What's going on, everyone? Luke, the toxic Nintendo fanboy here. Hope you guys are having a great day, or for me, a great night, and so far it has been. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. So, in today's video, we are going to be talking about Outlast for the Nintendo Switch, and it is also for Xbox One, PC, PS4, yada yada yada, whatever, whatever. This game was ported to Switch. And I was going to review this game during October because it seemed like the best time to do it, but I was having a pretty bad time in October, so I decided not to. But um, 2 months late, so not bad, not bad. So Outlast came out in 2013, so the game is definitely pretty old. Same as Grand Theft Auto 5, but I feel like the game still lives up. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 reasons why I believe Outlast is one of the best survival horror games ever made and why it will never be topped. Now, usually when people talk about survival horror games, they typically think of Resident Evil and Dead Space and Amnesia, but and those are great games, especially Amnesia. I mean, but the thing is, in Resident Evil and Dead Space, you had things to defend yourself. Even though you were like it was a survival horror situation, you still had weapons to defend yourself. In Outlast, you truly are defenseless, and there is nothing you can do to defend yourself, and that's why it makes it such an amazing survival horror game. So, reason number one why I think Outlast is the best survival horror game is the story. Now, usually these days with horror games, it seems like they don't really have stories. I mean, sure they do, but the story doesn't really mean anything. I mean, in today's horror games, the only thing that really happens is something jump scares you, it scares the crap out of you, or it may not, what makes it even worse. And then you just go back to exploring and solving puzzles and sneaking around and doing other objectives. I mean, I don't have a problem with this. I mean, I love horror games, they're my favorite type of game, but it does get a little boring sometimes. But with Outlast, the story actually means something. The story of Outlast truly is great, especially for a horror game, because it seems like horror games don't usually have stories that actually matter, but the story of Outlast does matter. I love how like this guy Miles, he breaks into an asylum and he finds out that they're doing really fucked up shit in there and all these it's amazing, guys. I mean, if Outlast was a movie, I feel like it would be pretty highly rated because I don't think any other game has done something like Outlast has, and that makes the story really great. So the story of Outlast is truly amazing. I mean, not it's not like The Last of Us type stuff, but I'm saying like for a game of its type, I feel like the story really was good. And when we talk about the Whistleblower, I will be doing a review for Whistleblower as well. It makes it even better. So that's why the story of Outlast is both important and why it's such a great story for a game of its type. So number two, why I think this game is the best survival horror game is the atmosphere. The atmosphere of Outlast is unlike anything I have ever seen before. I love the atmosphere of this game. If you are into horror games like this, then you're going to absolutely love the atmosphere that Outlast offers. It really is dark and stuff, but I just love the atmosphere for Outlast, and it just adds to why this game is so great, along with the story, which we just now talked about. But the atmosphere for Outlast, truly amazing, great. I love Outlast's atmosphere. I don't think any other game will top that as well, and I was really disappointed when Outlast 2 did not have the same atmosphere as Outlast 1, because that was one of my favorite things about Outlast was its atmosphere besides the story. So number three on why this game is so great is it doesn't shove jump scares down your throat. And I feel like this is a really big thing because now we're going to be talking about modern horror games, and it seems like all these newer horror games, they just scare the shit out of you for a split second, and after that, it's over. But Outlast 2, I mean Outlast 1, and even Outlast 2, that's actually one thing I like about Outlast 2, and even Outlast 2 had that many jump scares. I can't even remember that much, but both Outlast 1 and 2 do not have that many jump scares. Outlast 1 did have a couple of jump scares, so did Outlast 2. By the way, I do love Outlast 2 as well. I think Outlast 2 is an amazing game, but the thing I like about both Outlast 1 and 2 is how they didn't have jump scares, and this game barely had any, and I really like that because I feel like these developers, they rely too much on jump scares to actually scare the player, and what Outlast does is something different, and that is so great because in Outlast, the game has so many other more ways to literally terrify you and make you uncomfortable. This game is so gory, and there's so much disturbing stuff that you see in this game, and in some cases, it will probably scare you even more than a jump scare will. And I feel like this is something more developers need to learn from Red Barrels. And yes, I do believe that Outlast 1 is much better than Outlast 2. I mean, Outlast 2 really just feels like a chase simulator, but it's still an okay game. I like the characters for Outlast 2. I mean, with the Colt and Noth and all that shit, but with Outlast 1, I feel like it's a lot better. So, number 4 is the gameplay. The gameplay for Outlast is great. And it really does live up to what it says, a classic survival horror. But I actually like how you can't defend yourself in this game. Because if you were able to defend yourself in this game, like if you're doing like Taekwondo or grabbing people and countering their attacks like fucking Batman from the Arkham series, then it simply would not be a survival horror. Which is why Resident Evil and Dead Space are not really survival horror games, they're just games where you shoot monsters. This game truly is a survival horror game because you have absolutely no ways to defend yourself, but it's not just that. There's so much exploration in this game. It's not just a walking simulator. Like there's so many things to do in this game. I mean, sure I mean, I don't even know if you call them puzzles. I like to call them objectives, not puzzles. And the objectives do get a little tedious at times, but so what? So what? I still think the gameplay for Outlast is really, really amazing. There's so much you could do. You could find the notes, the documents, and all that stuff. Your character Miles will write down little stuff in his journal when you're recording something. That's another thing I really like. I really love Miles Upshur. He's probably my favorite protagonist in any horror game. Some say that Blake is better because he actually had dialogue, but to be honest, Blake felt like a pretty forgettable character. I mean, if you love Blake Langerman, like, no offense. I mean, I love him too. It's just that he didn't really feel very memorable like Miles or Wayland Park. Because, like, Miles, like, he didn't have to have dialogue for you to know what his personality was like. I mean, you could just sense it in the little notes that he writes and you could view inside the game. But that's why the gameplay for Outlast is really, really good. There's more to do. It's not just a walking simulator like this new Visage game coming, or Visage, I don't know what the fuck it's called, but Visage is a recent horror game, and I was really disappointed with it. I think that game sucked. But this game right here, like, there's so much to do in this game, and that makes the gameplay so much better. Now, number 5 is the characters. The characters for Outlast 1, boy, oh boy. I love the characters for Outlast 1. My personal favorite is Chris Walker. I know that a lot of people look at Chris Walker as just a brute who just chases you around and all that shit, but he's actually way more than that. Many think that Chris Walker is just a psychopath who just wants to kill the protagonist of the game, but this is actually not the case. The reason why Chris pursues you in the game and you see him killing so many other people is because he's actually trying to contain the Wall Rider. The Wall Rider is this thing that like well, it gets inside of people or some shit. I really don't understand the story of the Wall Rider, guys. I'm sorry, but even after, I still don't know what the Wall Rider is all about. I mean, all I know is that it's some kind of nanobots or something, and it like possesses people. But what Chris Walker tries to do is he tries to kill everyone, so that way the Wall Rider has no more hosts. So that's why I don't like it when people just look at Chris Walker as just a guy, the psychopath who just wants to kill you. And fucking Trigger, the doctor, boy, that guy was disturbing as fuck. That is until I met Eddie Golskin, though. But even with Eddie, I still think Richard Trigger was way worse because I like how he had that like calming voice, like he was actually still sane, but like he's still trying to kill you like all the other inmates. And that's another thing. The inmates in this game I also love, even though like they don't really like they have dialogue, but they're not really important. I still look at them as its own character in the game. So that's another thing that I really love about Outlast. The characters, they're memorable, and damn, like the music that comes on when you're being chased by Chris, Trigger, and the Wall Rider, because there is a Wall Rider chase at the end of the game where like the little ghost thing, the Wall Rider, he chases you around the underground lab. But yeah, like the soundtrack for this game is another thing. And you know what? That's another thing I want to add to this game. I know this is top 5, but now it's top 6. I'm adding a 6th reason. The soundtrack for this game, man. The soundtrack for this game is great. I love it so much. The soundtrack suits the situation that you're in. Either you're being chased by an inmate or you're just exploring this hell on earth asylum or you're being chased by Chris Walker. And the music for Chris Walker, it is so great. I think the music for Chris Walker is probably better than the chase music in Outlast 2 combined. It's great. So, yeah, guys, that's gonna be my this is gonna be my top 6 reason why, yeah, 6 reasons why Outlast is a great game and why I truly believe that this is one of the most amazing games ever made. So thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know what you think about Outlast. I'm so glad that this game came to Nintendo Switch because, to be completely honest with you, I don't think Xbox One, PS4, and PC deserve to have this game only on their platform. I mean, The game runs great on Switch. There's a couple of glitches here and there, but the game runs absolutely great on Switch. It's great, guys. You don't have to worry about any performance issues because if you're gonna pick this game up, then you won't be disappointed. Trust me. If you are into this kind of genre, if you like survival horror, then you are going to absolutely love Outlast. Definitely pick it up. Besides the second one, I get the first one before you get the second one. Get a little into the first one before you get the second one because if you like the first one, you may not like the second one too much, like me. I mean, I thought Outlast 2 was okay, but I didn't think it was great. Not that great, anyways. But yeah, Whistleblower is up next. I'll be reviewing that soon. Be sure to subscribe, guys. Expect a lot of Outlast content coming soon. I'll be making short little Outlast montage videos and stuff like that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, you guys. This is Luke, the Nintendo fanboy, signing off. See you later, guys.